Welcome to Speechbox. I'm Jeremy Hirsch. I don't care if your dress is white and gold or black and blue as long as it's on my floor at the end of the night. This week's episode we're going to be talking about Gotham again, and actually something that I think they're doing really well. Past couple episodes on Gotham, they've been teasing the introduction of, the iconic Batman villain, the Joker, and there's been so many great interpretations, iterations, great stories in the comics, cartoons. We love you, Mark Hamill. The movies, regardless if you're in the Jack Nicholson bandwagon or if you're on the Heath Ledger bandwagon, 60s show, Cesar Romero, it just doesn't matter. The Joker's had so many memorable incarnations. So obviously with Gotham teasing that, what's the expectation? What are we going to get? And is it too early or too sudden to have this character on the show? I'm pleased to say they're actually not doing a force-fed anything. At the time of this 2 episodes ago, there was a episode entitled The Blind Fortune Teller, and they had a snake charmer's son be implied to be the Joker. The son's name was Jerome. He was played by Cameron Monaghan, who's been in Shameless and in the movie Click. That's enough torture for any young psychopath to become the Joker. It'd have to be in an Adam Sandler movie these days. Sorry, we used to love you, Adam. But there was that tease that he was going to become the Joker. He had this weird, crazy laugh at the end of the episode, and actually I was like, this kid would be a good Joker. But then fast forward a week, and there's an episode, The Red Hood Gang. Obviously there's been incarnations of the Joker, and most of the prevalent ones that have tied his past to the Red Hood Gang. So it wasn't one specific character. They were just basically showing that anybody could be the Red Hood. A kid at the end picks up the mask and does this little number at the police. So that could be. And then there was actually subtlety on Gotham. There's actually subtlety on Gotham where, at the Penguins Club there was a really bad comedian, and they've actually done this. Counting that time and one more when the club was under ownership of Fish Mooney, where they've had just this weird sort of awkward stand-up comedian. So those could potentially end up being the Joker. I am about to try my best at a famous Joker quote. I am terrible when it comes to doing these verbatim, but basically the essence of the quote is from the Joker that if he's going to have a backstory or a past, it needs to be multiple choice. Sometimes he remembers it one way, sometimes he remembers it another. And that's the beauty of the character, that he, in and of himself, even his memories are just complete and utter chaos. I think the new 52 comics would do well to remember this. Currently, their Lincoln Joker is an immortal, tying his backstory to sort of the meteorite that fell and led to Vandal Savage's immortality, and then they're tying that into the Lazarus Pits, which gives Ra's al Ghul his immortality, and they're tying Joker into that now too. So I'm just hoping that falls more in line with the previous. He has all these sort of weird backstories, but they're not true, or could potentially be true. I think the Joker works best when everything involving him and around him is not definitive. With that, we're going to go into the Broment of the Week. I'm going to give you another interview that we did at the Virginia Comic-Con with a friend of the show and just generally awesome guy, Dan Nokes, tremendous artist, 21st Century Sandshark Studios. So we will, without any further ado, get into that interview with Dan. I'm at the Virginia Comic-Con with artist Dan Nokes. Dan, thank you very much.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going fantastic. So, about in 2002, you started 21st Century Sandshark Studios?
Yes, I did. Basically, it was like a company thing that I was using as a kid since, I guess, '88, just, for fun little high school projects. And then I decided, after various submissions to various comic book companies and various rejections, I said, screw it, I will make my own comic books and try and make somewhat of a name in the industry on my own.
Self-starting is definitely the way to go. We can certainly relate. And then you also are a small press coordinator for the Virginia Comic-Con.
That's correct. I started back in 2011. Basically, the story back then was I lost my previous day job, and I was left with the decision of going to find other day jobs that were going to make me as irritated and miserable and upset as the previous ones, or try and strike it out on my own as an independent comic book artist and writer. So I decided, well, I don't have kids or a wife or any of those kind of things. So if I hurt anybody, it's going to wind up hurting me. So right around that time, Brett Carreras, the guy that runs the show, said, like, would you like to help put our next 2-day show together and get the roster together? I was like, sure, no problem. And apparently I did well enough to where he said, do you want to handle this as your permanent job from now on? And I said, well, it's definitely better than most anything else I want to do, other than being artist and writer. So sure, yeah, I like artists, I like creators, I like this scene, so why not?
That's a perfect marriage then.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
One thing I will say, a lot of people who watch our show actually do want to get into comics as writers or artists. Do you have any suggestions or any hopes or any bits of truth to give them?
Oh, yes. My biggest, most important piece of knowledge and wisdom that I can impart on anybody aspiring to be in this business as a creator or webcomic artist or any of that thing, do not do this line of work unless it is absolutely what you want to do for the rest of your life. It's a rough business to get into. If you're, I'm going to be the next Marvel or DC superstar, statistically, no, you're not. Most of these guys try for anywhere from 3 to 7 years, if not shorter than that, find out that it is a rough business and give up. I went in with the root of, I can't imagine doing anything else. I'm a storyteller who happens to have some artistic talent, and that's what I want to do. I want to tell stories. I can draw. Let's do comics. I enjoy doing it. I've been doing it for 13 years in October. I've managed to survive. I can't say thrive, but occasionally, I'm able to upsize my dollar menu at Mickey D's. So those are the good days. Those are the salad days, my friends.
Passion is always a plus. And what are some of the major titles that you've been working on now for yourself out of your line?
Well, my current, I'm in webcomics right now. I'm doing a 12-issue maxi series called Impossible Space Tales of the Last Pit Stop. Basically, what if Area 51 were in fact a convenience store for aliens? Think Clerks meets Men in Black. You have the crappiest job on planet Earth, basically, or you're in charge of the crappiest secret on planet Earth.
And for our viewers who want to take a look at your comics and pick up some stuff from you, where can they head to?
My website is www.21sandchart.com. You can check out that webcomic for free, or if you want to support independent artists, we have some other great titles, including The Pistoliers. Basically, this is my Western title from a non-Anglo point of view, sort of think Manifest Destiny from the perspective of the Native American, from the immigrant at that time, from the ex-slave of that generation, all wound in this great action-adventure tale. We have copies of The Paranormals, the 10th Anniversary Complete Chronicles. Basically, this is a end-of-the-world tale. Your heroes include a feeble-minded robot, alcoholic werewolf, chain-smoking vampire, teenage witch, and angry Scottish dwarf. Finally, the internationally acclaimed super hit, Adam and Eve, Bizarre Love Triangle in the Zombie Apocalypse. Basically, this is about a guy running around on a talking Segway with his dog, looking for the woman of his dreams while knowingly being pursued by his zombie ex-girlfriend.
Dan, thank you so much.
No, thank you guys. Great to be here.
All right, thank you for joining us this week on Speechbox. Next episode, we're going to do sort of a retrospective on the Agent Carter series. And since we were talking about the Joker, who is your favorite? It could be live action, could be a voice actor. Who is your favorite Joker of all time? Let us know in the comments section. Let us know on Facebook. Let us know on YouTube. All that stuff is listed in the description section below in this video. And thanks for watching, and always be a fan.